I am absolutely wired for sound. I have been for 5 now. This is going to be an absolute fucking heater. Welcome to Highly Inappropriate.
I didn't know how loud it was going to be.
Are you nervous?
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to Highly Inappropriate.
I don't think she's going to be expecting something big, do you?
Oh, like anal?
Beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Highly Inappropriate.
Right, so let me get this straight. So I'm going to pay for a blowjob and I got to pay for a goddamn hotel room too? Well, that just seems like I'm spending too much money for nothing. I got a house. You can just get your ass over here and I can just do the blowjob here.
Highly Inappropriate.
It's me this week.
Motherfucker, do you speak it?
They can kiss my fat vagina, because I'm bringing the motherfucking pay.
Ah, shit. Well, you know what? We've been waiting a few weeks, and we're not going to bounce right into it here, but I've been trying to have this guy on the show for a few weeks. Well, one, when I had the old show with Mike Thurman, you had tried several times to come on that show. We just could never connect. You moved out of town, fucking going to Chicago. You know,
I have some shit to do. Don't judge me.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, no excuses. I'm not sure what happened these last few weeks. Well, hey, fun fact, Duncan, this is the first time we've done back-to-back podcasts on the same day since fucking COVID started.
I know, dude. And
we
we got
finally
a black guy
have
on the show.
finally have our shit together. We finally got a black guy on the show.
I'm excited, dude. I'm so excited.
He's been talking. Thurman. He's been talking since we started. He's like, we need a little diversity on here.
Well, yeah, and it's although I can't tell, my phone camera makes me look lighter. So, but yes, I'm brown.
You're still way
You almost look light skin there. And you know what's awesome? We're going to talk a little Black Lives Matter today. And by the way, we have a former cop on our show. What's up, RJ?
What up?
Thurman, fun fact about RJ. Remember the Pulse nightclub shooting that happened a few years ago in Orlando?
Yeah.
RJ was one of the first responders there. So he's seen some shit. Has seen some shit. But yeah, guys, welcome to Highly Inappropriate. I'm glad to have everybody here. I'm glad we could finally fucking make this thing happen. Thurman, you're supposed to be on the show last week, but we had some technology issues. Not sure what happened. My guess is you probably just tried to access the show and you were a little too fucked up. Is that true or false?
Well, it happens sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, let me ask you a question. Speaking of being fucked up, do you remember the first time that we met?
I think it might have been with Mark Johnson.
Oh, close. Well, I think you were with Mark, but it's funny. Not only do I remember first meeting you, but I remember the first words that we said to each other. It was John Southworth's surprise birthday party at his parents' house. You were sitting down. You had a Patriots hat on. So I come up to you. I'm like, what the fuck's on your hat? And somebody was like, it's cool, Matt. He's from Boston. So I was like, well, it's not as bad, but still kind of gay, but whatever. And you asked me, you're like, who are you? And I said, Matt Wharton. He's like, oh, you go, I've heard about you. You go, I bet I can outdrink you. That was your first words to me.
Well, and I probably still can.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can now because I don't drink much anymore. I do other things. But
we already got a lot of people popping off in the chat about him wearing a 12 jersey and that he needs the 12.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Can we explain is this you having like, is this like your swan song? Are you super upset about Brady leaving or what?
I'm not upset. I'm hurt, but I appreciate the future.
Hey, just remember, I remember all the shit you were giving me when Peyton left. And
I know, went to Denver.
Oh, bro. Just be prepared for today.
This whole state acted like prom girls that didn't get the right dates.
when he did his speech, you know, because of course the story the night before, him in Irsay's car, limo, whatever. So you kind of know what to expect. But I'm at the casino. I'm working at the casino when his his press conference comes on. Literally every motherfucker in that place was watching the TV when that came on. Yeah. And here I am working in the middle of my shift, like.
Yeah, but the only difference is we had Andrew Luck come to town, and they
I mean, we kind of knew what to expect. So. Well, honestly, because up until Peyton officially left Indy, I was all fuck Andrew Luck. I wanted Peyton Manning. I didn't care about Andrew Luck. But once I watched Andrew's pro day, I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. It's fine. Yep, we're cool. We're gonna be okay.
I was on the Luck train, dude. I knew Peyton was out. I hate that we didn't get nothing for him. Is what I don't like.
Well, no, my question is, how'd you feel when Andrew decided to be?
Now that day is when I cried.
Very similar reaction.
That was worse for me.
I can't tell the full story because it is awful what I felt that day. Duncan, I think you know the story, but I was I was DJing an event and I heard somebody say Luck's retiring, and I'm like, what the fuck's this bitch talking about?
Exactly.
I jump on Facebook and I mean, it's fucking everything. Every person is Andrew Luck. What the fuck?
I was so fuck. That was worse than Peyton, dude.
This is right as I'm putting my shit. Yeah, because you know
we had him coming in after Peyton. Like when he left, we had Jacoby Brissett. My bad.
Jacoby.
we got New England's fucking dirty fucking waste. Jesus Christ.
50% of Jacoby's throws ended in this.
Time out. I'm jumping in. Okay.
Okay.
So everybody was very quick to say when Garoppolo and Jacoby were in there for the first 4 games that they were great.
Bill Belichick.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I kind of know where you're getting at here. I'm telling you,
good, though.
Bill Belichick. I would be a all-pro quarterback playing for Bill Belichick. Likely, I mean, he would turn.
You are out of your fucking mind.
he would turn a fat, out of shape 30-year-old dad into a fucking all-pro.
I'd be out there just throwing dimes with Belichick.
I'd be Duncan. You'd be throwing in the slot. I'd be a slot receiver. You'd be dropping back. Just
you look more like you'd be on my line, probably, dude.
No. RJ, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Joe Montana would have been good without Bill Walsh? Do you think like any of these quarterbacks?
He's still good.
But there's only one that won 6.
Hey, he's still good. Don't get me wrong, but when you get good and they come together, it equals great.
Yeah,
that's what the fuck happened with that.
That's my point. I agree.
No, and honestly, and I hate to say this, and I think I said it to you this week, maybe when we had that phone call, but I have never denied Tom Brady's greatness. I just don't think he's anywhere as good as Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning changed the game more than any other quarterback in history. I mean, the reason the NFL is right now, it's because of Peyton Manning, 100%. No huddle offense. Always starting in shotgun, using 3 wide receiver sets, 2 tight end sets to fucking beat zone coverage. I mean, like, the whole way NFL offenses are set up now is because of Peyton Manning. The whole way NFL defenses are set up was to stop Peyton Manning.
Why can't they just
Jim
be
Kelly
1A
do
and
that
1B?
in 93?
Do what?
Didn't Jim Kelly do that in 93?
Yeah, but I mean, that's no,
it's not different. Jim Kelly.
No, it's a lot different. You're telling me Jim Kelly did not sit there at the line of scrimmage and fucking make 5 different audibles before he snapped the ball. Peyton was, I mean,
he did. He did.
No,
he also handed
the
off
level
to Thurman Thomas too.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Good name too.
Now, how do you come up with your name Thurman? I mean, how were you named? After an uncle or
grandfather?
I was say I know of 2 Thurmans, and it's you and the fat kid on Bad Santa.
Was it Thurman Sherman?
Thurman Merman.
His name is Sherman Merman.
Thurman
Sherman
Merman,
is his name.
It's Thurman Merman. Yep.
Sherman Merman.
Thurman Merman. It's Thurman for sure.
Thurman Merman.
Because every time I watch that movie, I think of his fucking ass.
The best part, it's a pickle.
You know what? Every single time I walk into somebody's door, I think of the name Matt, and I just stomp on it.
Doormat, get it, Matt?
Yeah.
Get
Like this
that?
motherfucker. This motherfucker.
RJ, go get going.
Hey, what about your
Where am I
Red Sox
going?
though, man? They kind of fell off too.
Well,
But we got baseball coming back. I'm glad I got another baseball fan on the show.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. I do want to ask you. Oh, shit. We do have to talk about, because you mentioned pre-show about how you hated me for 2 years, and let me explain this. Because
well, I did. I love you though.
oh no, I know we've always loved. We've had a love-hate relationship with each other, you know. Because I think there is quite a bit of mutual respect. Because I did tell a story to you this week
Always
on the phone,
respect.
because a couple years ago, when the whole Pizzagate thing broke out, me and you were the only person on the fucking internet that knew what the hell that was all about.
Yep.
And it just shows that you're woke, you know, not in a sense like, oh, you know, flat earth fucking shit, but that you pay attention and you don't get caught in all the clutter that we're forced to fucking listen to. So, are you guys aware of Pizzagate, RJ, Duncan, at all?
Yeah.
It's
Is that
fucked
like-
up.
No, but really,
Is that the porn, like where you have your dick to the pizza
Yeah.
and then you show up?
No, it's
No.
no, it's
Oh,
where it's
that's the
where,
big sausage pizza.
Pizzagate
Ah, yeah.
companies, yeah.
I am sad to admit that I've watched several pornos where a guy stuck his dick through a pizza.
Big sausage pizza. Every pizza comes with a big sausage, whether you like it or not.
It got to a point where every time I actually had a female pizza delivery driver, I got really fucking upset because she didn't come in and suck my dick. So
I
like the pizza delivery where they show up and like the chicks just randomly bang the pizza delivery guy. Like,
yeah.
think how lucky that guy is.
RJ and Dunk, essentially, it's you fuck. I don't even like to say it out loud, especially because my stepdaughter is sitting right across from me. But essentially, it's you call a pizza company, and then the next thing you know, it's a sex trafficking ring for teenage fucking kids.
essentially.
yeah,
we covered a little bit of this corruption last week on the show, but like it's fucking deep. And not only does it
this stuff, dude.
not only that,
no more child sex trafficking, man.
well, it's crazy when you find out that half the world's run by fucking pedophiles. It's we live in a fucked up world. But
hey, what a wonderful world.
yeah.
I mean, my theory is, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but we should just start shooting everybody. But
I'll give it a few years. It's coming. I just told my mom that the other day. I'm like, yeah, you know, be thankful that we live in a town surrounded by cornfields, and behind every cornfield is shotguns, multiple. So,
do you remember the story I told you the first time I went to your bowling alley?
yeah, tell me, to me, it seems completely fucking wild because there's nothing that goes on here. Like, I try to get in fights in my hometown and it doesn't work. I mean, people here are just very.
Matt, this was 2001.
The world was a different place.
And it was, yeah, it's true. But it's kind of true. But
So,
What happened
tell
at
me
the
the
bowling
story.
alley? What happened at the bowling alley?
do you really want to hear the story, Dunk?
I
Yeah.
mean, he brought it up.
Okay, so I'm mid high school, 17. I just moved here from Boston and dating a girl. She's like, hey, come to my town. You're nice. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody like you. We go to Morristown Bowling Alley.
He was dating my neighbor, by the way.
Yeah.
Morristown, oh, it's definitely shut down. You don't have a bowling alley anymore, do you?
So I get there and I'm in there for like a couple minutes, shake hands. I talk to about 2 to 3 people. And then like about 10 minutes later, I hear her say, I'm not going to say her name out of respect, but then she says, you need to get the fuck out of here now. Come on. And it's like 8 million, not 8 million, obviously that's an outrageous number, but a bunch of hillbillies come in to the bowling alley and they're just ready to fucking kick my ass for what? I don't know. But the only reason I'm thinking.
Were you wearing a Tom Brady jersey?
Now,
Because if you came here and you were wearing a Tom Brady jersey in my hometown, I probably would have tried to kick your ass. I'm just saying.
It's sad that shit is still
I was
fucking
just
in this world, man.
It's 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
but it's
I don't
20
think
years later, and that shit is still going on.
I don't think I'm gonna be honest with you, Thurman. I don't think if you came into you would have any issues because I bring my black friends to Morristown all the time, especially when I used to DJ in that bar. I would have friends out from Indy and we would fucking party. Get crunk in there.
What I mean,
you know
sorry,
what makes me saddest? I'm sorry, don't give me 3 seconds. What makes me saddest, Matt, is that you had to say I bring my black friends, like just friends.
No, I agree 100%. We talked about that last week. I think that is the future of this thing. We need to stop fucking referring to people by the color, the color of their skin. Like, who gives a shit? Just say friends.
Everybody does.
Then, if we're talking about Dunk, it's like, my dumb friend.
My white trash mullet-headed friend. Yeah.
My mullet Jesus who thinks he's a rapper.
Possible meth head. Looks like a meth head, maybe. Hey, what about Darius Leonard? Do you see all that stuff this week?
Yeah, we're also bringing that up this week for sure. But I am going to just
get a beer. I know I am too.
Go ahead and get a beer, buddy. Okay, but Thurman, I do want to bring up your thoughts on everything that's going on. We had a phone conversation. We talked about our fight. Funny story is the Colts and Patriots are playing. Me and Thurman got real heated online like we always do when the Colts and Patriots play each other. I ended up calling him a bitch. He said I wouldn't call him a bitch to his face, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, Thurman, the next time I see you, what was the first thing I said to you?
You gave me a big hug, and with a big smile on your face, you said, "Hey, bitch." It was like 4 years. But it was also at a benefit.
Oh, act like you would have done anything. You would have gave me a big hug too and kissed my bald head. And
were you guys raising money for Matt's illegitimate kids? Is that what the
we were raising money for my
all your baby mamas,
my homeless shelter.
Cindy Pierce.
It was for Cindy Pierce. Rest in peace, by the way. Awesome lady. She favorite bartender. I mean, like, you're talking about my entire drinking career. Cindy was my bartender, pretty much. So that one really sucked. So yeah, rest in peace. We were doing a benefit for her. She had liver cancer, correct? I can't remember. She had some sort of cancer.
It wasn't liver. It wasn't liver.
We did a big benefit, and I think they raised like a ridiculous amount of money, like $40,000 or something. Like, so it was.
Yeah, they went nuts. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. I mean, just to show you what type of impact she had on the community. I mean, that was the go-to bar in Shelbyville, and I mean, it was Kendall's, and of course, then it went to 57. What happened? You were working at Kendall's for a while. What happened there?
I got into a couple situations where I was the only bartender once they closed down, and Mel and Cindy left, and it just wasn't a safe place for me in Indiana.
See, that's ridiculous.
I trust me, I agree.
Well, I guess when Mel and Cindy go to a different bar, I guess you're probably going to get the more country fucks in there.
Well, no, I mean, Matt, you know me, like everybody in this everybody in this county still loves me, but I get in there and you got people that are used to hillbilly bars, quote unquote. I apologize if I sound racist, but
hey,
no, we don't.
I hate white people. Don't get me wrong.
No, but there'd be nights I'd go in there and I'd hear people at the end of the bar, and I'd hear N-word this and N-word that, and N-word this and N-word that, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna keep working here anymore. And
why don't you speak up at that point? You just because you don't want any problems, or what?
I fear death. Yeah.
Honestly, if I were you, I would walk straight up to him and I would start using the word too, like super sarcastically, like you didn't hear what the fuck they're saying.
Matt, you know me. I've when you're, let's say, okay, it's Thursday night, right? And
karaoke
I'm
night.
the bartender. I'm the only person working there. There's no DJ. There's just me and the bar. Okay. And then I hear people at the end of the bar, nigger this, nigger that, nigger this, nigger that. And I can hear them. They're not talking loud enough for me to hear them, but they're still saying it. Well, there's 4 of them. There's one of me. I don't carry a gun license. I don't have a fucking gun, you know? So what am I supposed to walk up and do and say, hey, listen, watch your fucking mouth?
Hit him with a bat.
And
I'll
then
tell you
these-
what.
I would dip your penis into their drinks, dude.
Oh, I would do definitely that.
At least,
Definitely
at
that.
least the
Sure.
nuts, dude.
But
At
I
least
can
the
tell you
nuts.
one thing. As a person who has used to go downtown 3 days out of fucking 7 a week and talk a lot of shit, me and Ricky Dunnigan, oh God, talk a lot of shit downtown. The crazier you act, the more people you can stand up to at a time.
Well, no.
See, in our redneck bar, my go-to, I love going in there with all these redneck racist fucks, and then they'll have their like Skinner and shit all on the jukebox. Well, most of them don't have it financially, you know, so they just play songs. I'll go in there and just load $25-$30 and just play next the most gangster ass rap that I can play.
Yes.
They're in Nightstown, and they come unglued. Skip that goddamn song, you know. And then if the bartender skips it, I go, you better give me my money back.
And knowing you're dumbass, you're sitting at the bar rapping every word.
Oh yeah,
We did
staring at him.
We did a live podcast at Capone's, and this fucking asshole's half cocked, rapping every Eminem song he can he can get on the fucking jukebox. I was like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself right now.
Hey, I mean, I do that every day. I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
Get some. What Matt say? I said what I said.
Yeah, fucking get some. Oh, I love that. By the way, Thurman,
do something. That's what it was.
You know, do you think Tom Brady's more afraid of Robert Mathis or more afraid of Dwight Freeney?
I don't think Tom Brady's afraid of anything.
No, he definitely fucking got
He was
happy.
definitely afraid that his kid was going to fall off the side of that mountain.
Yeah.
Remember that? You remember that? Yeah.
RJ, I'm asking you a question.
What's up?
Do you think Tom Brady's more afraid of Robert Mathis on steroids or Robert Mathis on steroids?
Jesus.
Well, first of all, he was on something that quote unquote brings you off of steroids, so it's not.
It was
he never got
helping him
busted for a
with having a
steroid.
kid. It was helping him with having a kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, he even had doctor's notes and shit. I mean, I tell you what, for most NFL players, I would say 9 times out of 10, yeah, they're full of shit when they say shit like that. But knowing Mathis's background, he comes from just a real stand-up guy.
Sounds like you're a Colts fan. Is all.
Oh, absolutely.
I promise you, dude. Mathis, he's the best, dude.
Stand-up guy. I've met him several times.
He's a great human being, man.
Met him several times. One of the most stand-up fucking athletes. He's him and Reggie Wayne. As far as all the athletes I've met, probably the most stand-up fucking athletes I've met. Reggie Wayne and Mathis by far.
Oh, don't forget Pat.
Oh, well, yeah, Pat's next level. I mean, Pat's like fucking one of us.
Yeah,
Pat's
exactly.
Pat's a drunk asshole that just happened to play football.
Next thing I know, you're gonna tell me that Reggie Wayne, or not Reggie Wayne. What's my favorite?
Oh, Marvin Harrison definitely killed a guy for sure.
Killer.
Oh, for sure.
Quiet. Hey, and they always say killers move in silence, and he was a real quiet.
He was a quiet motherfucker. I'm telling you right now, like.
But he ran that 10-yard out though.
Marvin, man, you know,
hey,
like
unless he was at Gillette.
You guys were molesting him. Speaking of, when I say the NFL changed because of Peyton, think about this. The rules completely changed because you guys molested our receivers in the 03 AFC Championship game.
So?
To this day, I think that Colts team was better than that Patriots team. But you guys fucking raped us. We didn't get a single call that game. Yes, I 100%.
Facts.
I 100% think so.
Better how? Well,
we should have won the regular season game, but of course the old Willie McGinnis fake injury bullshit.
Terrible.
So they stopped our no-huddle offense. We were fucking driving. We were driving down the field. You knew Peyton Manning was going to score there. Willie McGinnis faked an injury to fucking slow our offense down, and lo and behold, you stop Edgerrin James at the goal line. Then you get into the playoffs. Okay? Yeah, we're in Gillette, but you guys were molesting us on the last offensive play we had. Ty Law had a hold of Dallas Clark's fucking shoulder pads, and
It was
of
legal.
course,
Matt, it was legal.
it was totally not legal. It was past 5 yards. It was not legal.
Back then it was legal.
You can't hold guys. There's no hold. There's never been holding in football.
Hey,
No.
all I gotta say is, how was it getting a taste of your own medicine against the Titans when they did the whole delay of game, the whole delay of game stuff, and the
I
pupil,
loved it.
The pupil
I tell you
got the
what,
feature.
I became a
No,
Mike
no,
Vrabel
no,
fan
no.
right there. I was like,
Mike
okay,
Vrabel, because
this motherfucker.
Belichick had did it before, and then
Yeah.
Vrabel, the pupil.
No, Dunk, I'll
back
tell
at the
you,
teacher.
it was beauty. It was beauty.
I
You
like
can ask me
Vrabel.
why I was okay last year, us not winning that game, because you live and you learn, So I was okay.
Now he's in a Buccos uniform.
Have you
His
ever-
uniform looks better than Patriots on it.
Dunk,
Have you ever been emotional, Thurman? Have you ever been emotional after a Patriots game, like after a loss? Is there
Are you
any particular
Yes,
loss?
of course. I fucking cried, not talked for a day.
I've only cried one time, like legit broke down. And that was 2005 against the Steelers. I was for sure the best team we ever had. Best team we ever had. And fucking Mike Vanderjack, you fucking cunt.
No, that was Peyton Manning's fault.
Oh, bullshit.
It's always his fault.
Yeah,
Peyton
right.
Manning-
But it's
I mean,
never
like,
Brady's fault,
literally
right?
for-
It's never Brady's fault.
No, it's Brady's fault sometimes too, but
No,
he's got
it's-
6 rings. I don't know how many Peyton
Right?
has.
Yeah, thanks, Belichick. How many top 10 defenses has Brady had? All of them? All of them? How many top 10 defenses has Brady had in his career? All of them. Every year he has a top 10 defense. There's no other year. Peyton played twice with a top 10 defense. Twice. One was that 2005 team. The second was of course, the Denver Broncos team that won the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna give you 2 things, and then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna let other people take the mic and listen. I'm gonna give you 2 things.
Go for it.
Especially since you brought up Bob Sanders.
Yep.
Bob Sanders was Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, 100%. He's the reason we won that Super Bowl. I will never deny that. Never.
And then,
But listen, Thurman. Go ahead. I'll respond. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And then the Denver Broncos had Von Miller and the best defense in football.
Well, thank you
And
for
that's
proving
the
my point.
only Super Bowls Peyton Manning won.
Thank you for proving my point. Good
Right.
teams win Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good teams win Super Bowls. It's not a fucking player. We need to stop. Why don't we judge receivers on who has the most Super Bowls? Why don't we judge running backs? And yes, I understand the quarterback has the ball. Every play is more responsible for anything.
Kind of like point guards. Yeah.
But I don't think quarterbacks should be judged on Super Bowls. I think it's ignorant because you want my honest opinion. Dan Marino is as good as any quarterback that's ever played in the league, and he didn't sniff. I mean, he played in 1 Super Bowl, got their ass kicked.
Rookie year.
Second year.
Yeah.
It was the second year.
No,
That's
it was pretty
For the longest time, held the vast majority of records in the NFL. So
yeah. I think we need to stop
Let me
with
sneak in
that
real
bit.
quick with 2 questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Who throws the best ball ever, Dan Marino or Aaron Rodgers? Or if you think anybody else
The best ball.
throws the best ball, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers, Dan
It
Marino.
ain't Peyton. Peyton's a duck throwing.
No, Peyton throws a
Yeah.
duck. I mean, it goes in the right place, but it's
Dude,
not
Luck
pretty.
Luck threw a tight ass.
Oh, Luck had a pretty ball. Marino to me is the best as far as pure arm talent, but Elway too, man. Elway's got a fucking dude. Elway
and
Marino,
Favre, yeah.
no, it's got to be Marino or Elway.
Yeah.
Favre could
And
take that
honestly,
motherfucker
Jumps
100.
off Marino's arm like yesterday was no longer yesterday.
And let me tell you, I'm gonna throw another guy in here. As far as just straight arm talent, dude, Mike Vick could throw that ball 75 yards down the field.
Well, I mean, if you
The bomb, but he wasn't accurate.
No, he was never accurate. But if we're just talking about arm talent, a guy that could fucking just
strength though.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want a dude that can throw a grenade really well, cool. But
Jeff
throwing
George.
75 yards don't mean shit if you don't hit your target.
True.
Or Jeff George. Jeff George.
Oh yeah, Jeff George had a cannon. Yep. Thanks for your service, buddy. You don't understand, Thurman. Do you understand what it's like being a Colts fan in Indy? Because I mean, we've talked about this. We have the most fair weather fucking fans in the world.
I hate
In the
you guys.
world.
Pacers
before
are
the
worse.
Colts, before the Colts won a Super Bowl, I was made fun of in high school for being a Colts fan. In Indiana, I was made fun of for being a Colts fan. Fucking ridiculous. That's what it's like. Now everybody's a Colts fan. I used to go to training camp. There would be 300 people there. Now if you try to go to training camp, 4,000 or 5,000 people. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's
why we're going to Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fucking nuts. But
now Thurman, who yeah, are you a Celtics fan?
Yes, of course.
So
he just said Celtics were going to win the championship this year.
No,
you ain't beating the Bucks. Hell, the Pacers probably get you guys in the playoffs.
Yeah, I that's my upset pick.
Whoa. You said
I do like Tatum though. I do like
think
Tatum.
you struck a nerve there, Duncan.
No, I think we can definitely. I think we can beat the Celtics. We ain't beating the Bucks. I think the Pacers. I think the Pacers are so under the radar because Vic is yet to play healthy, and look where we're at.
Yeah.
We have the 4 best swing scorers under 30 in the league. All 4 of them.
You know who's going to win the NBA Finals? Whatever team doesn't get Corona during the playoffs. You get 4 or 5 people with Corona and they're out 2 weeks. I mean, that's a series, especially if it's some of your best players.
That's a good point, man. I said
the Pacers need to send the whole fucking team to Brogdon's house right now. All of them get it. The whole team.
Get it over with.
Go over there like chicken pox, dude, and your kids. All of you get it. Hang out 2 weeks. Season starts.
How amazing would that be if the Pacers were smarter than everybody else and we won the championship because everybody else got sick? I would take it. I'd go to that parade. I would fucking be marching my drunk ass all the way to Bankers Life, whatever it's called now.
I think the Corona is going to end up being like the new chicken pox because it don't really affect kids that much, and they're gonna end up sending kids to get it together before they become adults.
My theory is this: I hope they just all go out and smoke medicinal, and then just get down that bubble and give me a title.
I was in public today and I coughed, and somebody looked at me and I said, I don't have the COVID. I just smoke pot.
I got popcorn lung. My bad.
Yeah, you're fine. You're good. You could.
Matt, who do you think's gonna win out of the bubble?
Okay? Let's pretend like nobody gets sick. I'm still going my preseason pick. I think the Clippers win it.
You're right.
Lakers.
You're right. Now
Lakers.
Really?
Lakers aren't beating the Clippers.
If they don't get sick, no team is beating LeBron and AD in a pick and roll in a 7-game series. Sorry.
Dude, LeBron does not want to see Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. LeBron does not want to see Kawhi Leonard.
Yep. RJ.
Yo.
What do you think?
Who's winning the NBA playoffs? Who's winning the NBA playoff? Or the finals? Can you hear me?
Are you there?
Who?
Can you hear me now?
Not sure what happened. Can you hear me now? Dunk, you're picking the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Clippers.
Because I just said nobody's beating AD and LeBron in a pick and roll offense.
You've been on Tom Brady's dick for the last 2 years. Now you're jumping on LeBron's dick. Like,
I'm not jumping on nobody's dick. I'm just, when you gamble with your head, not your heart. I mean, in my heart, I hope the Pacers don't lose a fucking game. But
well, in my heart, I hope you lose.
Friend you have there.
In my heart, I hope you lose every fucking dollar you have.
Did you see Ja Morant? You know, they let the players. They're gonna let the players put like protesting stuff on their name, like their last name. And Ja Morant came out today when they announced it, and he said, like, my new jersey, and he's number 12, and he has fuck 12 on the back of his jersey. And he says, I'm gonna need this instantly or immediately or something like that. And dude, Twitter went bananas with it.
RJ, can you hear me?
Both sides.
Now, when somebody says fuck 12, do you take offense to that? No, you don't. So
now,
what's
why
your
12? I don't understand. Explain.
Yeah, what do you know? Do you know the story behind that?
A very white individual. I don't understand. Why are police called 12?
Oh, why does everybody hate the Seahawks fans right now? What the hell's going on?
RJ, you gonna get this? Or do you want me to get this?
Yeah, why are police called 12?
Why are the police called? Because I do not know.
I mean, you can go ahead and if you know the actual story.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. I
mean, there's a few different nicknames for cops. 5-0 is one, 12 is one. It's originally based off of our 10 codes. 10-12 is the code. So it's believe it or not, most people, especially people that have a lot of interaction with cops, they know our radio signals just as well as we do. So when they hear everything on the radio, they already understand what's going on. And 1012 is typically a code for present. Like I'm 1012, I'm with somebody. So it became a nickname for police, the 12.
Huh.
Check that out.
RJ. Sorry, Matt. And give me a second. RJ.
Yeah.
You're a police officer?
Former,
yeah.
Well, I want you to know I appreciate everything you do. Everything you do. I'm never.
I don't do it anymore. I was a cop in Florida for a long time, and I left there and I moved up here.
Appreciate everything that you've done, but God damn.
I was waiting for the and but statement there, or what,
waiting for the comma.
You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, no, and I really mean that from the heart. No disrespect at all, but God damn, fuck what. You see my face? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a grown guy.
RJ, I do have a question before we jump in this conversation here. What does the code 311 stand for?
Ooh,
is that indecent exposure?
I mean, that's probably.
That's the
I don't know
about the band.
Well, that's how they got their name. Is their bassist. Their bassist got arrested for indecent exposure, and it's the code 311. So that's how they got their name, 311. And you know what's funny?
It's probably whatever the municipal code is from where they're from.
Speaking of what's going on right now, you know how many people thought 311 were racist because the K is the 11th letter in the alphabet, and they thought it stayed.
I remember that when I was in high school. I remember that.
And if you've ever been to a 311 concert, you would know that's the most ridiculous thing fucking ever.
I grew up thinking that 420 was because the cops changed shifts at 4:30 and they all go to the station. So like there was no cops out at around 4:20 because they're all going to change shifts. So you could just fucking fire up, dude, not have to worry about cops. Yeah, buddy. But that wasn't true. I found out.
Now
we did shift change at 5:30.
At 4:30. Right. So at 4:20, there's no cops because they're, changing out.
So Thurman, what do you think about cancel culture right now? I mean, thank God that we've changed the name of maple syrup, and that John Wayne's getting fucking bashed in his death. What do you think about all the response right now?
I have two different levels of thinking. Okay. I have one level of thinking as a black male. It's dumb as shit. Some of it.
Right.
And I also have a level of thinking as goddamn. As a black male that has grown up with black parents, black grandparents, so on and so forth. This shit should have been changed years ago. Why the fuck are we glorifying all this shit years ago?
Right.
And I talk to my wife about it all the time, and she looks at me and she says, "Why are you getting so stressed about it?" And I said, because it should have been, people should have cared about this shit fucking hundreds of years ago. Like, it's why now? And then if you allow me to keep going, why now does it matter that they're changing? And you can't erase history. You can't. No one erases history. But what you can easily do is tear down shit that shouldn't be glorified.
Well, that's what I was saying. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before that, me and Duncan were talking, and I said, I don't, because like, for instance, there's a lot of statues that were erected in states that have nothing to do with the South and literally were erected for racist reasons. I'm like, shit like that definitely needs to come down. But like, my argument, my big thing is, I think General Lee, he's a guy who was openly against slavery. He was a hero in the Mexican War. I mean, he's all accounts a stand-up guy. Like, he was one of the guys that literally had other than him being the fucking Confederate general, had very clean fucking history, you know, like as a stand-up guy. Like, I feel like, you know, that was a part of what my post a couple weeks ago was about, how you said it was the best thing I've ever posted, about how we're going to learn that in a transparent world, we've all done shit that was fucked up, that was real, you know, that was mean, hateful, whatever it may be. And we need to realize, instead of like trying to condemn people for life for shit that they done. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've said racist shit in my past. Like, does that mean I'm a horrible fucking person? Does that mean I've ever hated black people? No, but like, you know, like, God forbid I become famous one day and, you know, they pull up a MySpace post from 2005.
Oh, me and you, we are both hosed if that ever happens.
Oh, dude, because I used to just quote straight up rap lyrics on my fucking, you know, like, because I didn't give a fuck. This is honestly, being from a small town like Morgantown, I didn't have a single chocolate friend at all, you know. Like, this is before I banged my first chocolate lady, you know, like, this is but you know, God forbid, like, it's just ridiculous in my opinion. Like, and I understand like exactly what you're saying is, why wasn't this handled so long ago? And part of my problem with cancel culture, and that's what the whole show is named after today. But part of my, and like, this is a big reason I have not participated in like blackout social media. Because I think when you're doing it now, it really falls on deaf ears. It's like, you know, because it's a popular thing to do. Like, you don't know who's being sincere and who's not.
Right.
And I think one thing that I proudly can fall back on when people can accuse me of shit like that, it's the simple fact that I have been consistent in my views for liberty, and not just liberty for fucking straight white males. It's liberty for everybody. And I've talked about things that have harmed the black community for years. So I don't feel like I have to fucking put a black square on my Instagram to show support for black people. And I will tell you, you know, me and you've talked, but I did have I did have a friend reach out to me that was a little angry at me. He's like, you know, why haven't you asked if I was okay? And I'm gonna be like, straight up, I told him, I was like, I didn't know I had to, man. Like, you know, I get what's going on. It's rough for you, but like, at one point, I don't feel like I have to ask you if you're okay, because you know where I stand. You know, like, if you know me, you know where I stand on this shit. Like, I bitch and moan about the war on drugs. To me, agree with me or not.
Let me jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
This is a difference, and you and I have discussed this on white privilege, which I don't even want to get into. Maybe we'll do that next Sunday. But if I get pulled over with you in the car, or if I get pulled over with somebody that looks like me in the car, I promise you, and I'm not making this shit up, and I'm sure there's whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's different.
Oh, no, 100%.
It's like, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Like, for instance, I've been to bars where, like, for instance, the funny story, we've told it on the podcast. Me and Beaver went to a T.I. concert at the Vogue, and I've seen T.I. I've been to T.I. concerts before, and it was
you love Tip.
It's my favorite rapper by far.
I know.
And like, when I go, it's normally 50-50, you know, as far as it's a good mixture of people. And we went to the Vogue, no joke. Me and Beaver were the only white people there. And I felt like we were treated like, you know, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, we didn't fit in. So I honestly,
I feel that way though.
Why did I feel that way?
How
did I feel that way? Just, you know, just by the looks I was getting and how it's true. I mean, for the most part, this is only like a few people. I'm saying 99% of the people in there were cool as fuck, you know, like dabbing it up with me, dancing, you know, having fun. But there was a few instances because, you know, honestly, I mean, I think it goes both ways, because I don't know if it's you that's made the statement that black people can't be racist. I've heard that before, and I completely disagree with it. I think anybody can be racist. You know, if you think your race, regardless if you're black, white, Mexican, pink, purple, whatever, if you think you're superior to somebody just because of the color of your skin, you are a racist. I don't give a fuck what color you are. Agree or disagree?
Yep. RJ, I hear you. RJ, I hear you. Matt.
3 minutes, man.
Yep.
Give RJ some time.
What do you want to say, buddy?
I wasn't saying anything. I just said I haven't said a word in 3 minutes. I don't know how you heard me.
No, but like, good
I
point.
just saw your
RJ,
face.
RJ, as a cop, let me ask you this, based on Thurman's statement here. As a cop, are you guys trained at all about how to handle different people or different, like, for instance, I think one of the biggest changes they need to make in policing is if you're going to be policing ghetto, you need to pull people from the ghetto to be policing that area. People that know the area, that know the people, you know, like, are you trained on situations like that?
So for the 4.5, almost 5 years that I was in Orlando, I spent half of it in like white suburbia, and I spent the other half in the northwest side, which is basically part of the hood, part of downtown, and then the northwest side was the hood. I will tell you, Thurman, I'm not saying that you're wrong. However,
No, you're good.
And dude, I'm sure you've had interactions that have been not so great with cops, and I'm sorry, but I will tell you, in the 2.5, 3 years total of 5 years that I was in Orlando, I didn't give a fuck what color you were. I treated everybody the same. Now, if you treated me like
Thank
shit,
you.
I treated you like shit, because that's just how we roll. Everybody is on the same level with me. If you're cool, I'm fine. If you're respectful, I'm respectful. If you're a dick, I'm a dick.
Now,
just-
let me ask you a direct, real quick question.
Sure, fire away.
Do you think some of the reason that you were treated with disrespect is because of distrust? Just off
Probably.
top?
That's probably part of it. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Being-
but and my response to that always was, you don't want me to judge you or
Right.
to label you. Why are you doing that to me? If you
I
don't
hear-
want
oh.
me to treat you like a thug
Beautiful.
just because you're black, don't treat me like a fucking, like a piece of shit that's just trying to
Beautiful.
fucking hem you up just because I'm wearing a uniform.
Beautiful. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that out of you.
And that was my response all the time. And most of the time I got good reception for that. And most of the time, you know, somebody would run just from seeing me. And of course, what am I going to do? Just, I'm gonna run.
It's your job. Yeah. You got
So I catch up sometimes. A lot of times I was too fucking slow because I am a big ass white dude and genetically I am not a fast fucking person. But the times that I did catch up, I'd be like, why'd you run? I was scared. Why were you scared? Well, I didn't know what you were going to do. I was like, I said, hey. That's all I said. I didn't even have my gun. I just said, hey.
It's said that black kids are raised to be afraid of the police. That's
Right.
one of the saddest things.
And that
in
is
this
part
country.
of it. You know, part of
We
it
are.
is part
We
of
are.
it is the responsibility on us, okay? Because the unfortunate thing is, in our profession, if you have somebody who is a piece of shit, somebody who's a bad apple, it spreads like cancer. So
Yeah, I mean-
because we are constantly we are in the limelight. So if a cop does something bad, everybody fucking knows about it. If
I do wanna-
Jeff at the bank does something shitty, nobody gives a fuck.
But if you do something shitty, it's on the fucking Channel 8 news that night.
Exactly. And it makes the whole
mean-
department look like shit. And then everybody thinks that everybody that wears that same patch is the
Yeah.
same piece of shit person that guy was.
I gotta say something. So you were talking about, you know, chasing somebody. My grandpa actually, in his mid 60s, was a reserve police officer in Florida when he lived down there, Clewiston, Florida,
That's
South Lake
fantastic.
Okeechobee. You probably know where, you know, around where that's
I know
about.
exactly where that's at.
He called me after he got in his very first fight ever as a cop, and he was chasing a dude. I think he was peddling drugs or something. And again, the exact story, but I'll never forget that. Like, my fucking 60-year-old grandpa fucking chasing a dude and tackled him, put him in cuffs. Oh God, classic. It just,
That's
sorry,
awesome.
reminiscing. But
Nah.
let me ask you this, RJ, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Thurman the same question too. What do you think the problem is in policing, and how does it change?
I think there are problems on both sides. Okay, I don't think policing as a whole needs reform, but I do think changes need to be made. At the same time, if we're going to make changes in policing, people need to change their own shit. Okay, it's kind of become this weird dichotomy. Like, the police aren't just police anymore. The police are now, we're supposed to be therapists, teachers, social workers, psychologists, pretty much everything except for a fucking doctor, because everybody calls the cops for everything.
You know, you fix that.
Fix your own shit.
I mean, it helps, you know, if
Clean
you're
up your own fucking life.
Well, the big thing too, actions speak louder than words. I mean, they can talk all day until I think police need to call out the bad police is one of the first steps.
Well, and
instead of letting shit slide.
No, and you're absolutely
also,
right.
To that note,
and also you can't, like I said the last show, you can't send people that aren't acclimated to those neighborhoods in there to be police. They're going in scared already.
Do you think I was acclimated to work in the hood?
Nah,
look at me. I'm from fucking Indiana, and I was working the hood in Orlando, Florida.
But I mean, you said there was no training or anything for that, right?
No, it's not that there's training for it. When you're in field training, you're purposely put in different areas of the city so you can acclimate to different parts of the city.
Gotcha.
And
like ride along kind of stuff.
Right. And ultimately, you know what it comes down to, if you don't have the tenacity or the intestinal fortitude to be able to adapt to an area and just be able to speak to people and not be afraid or just to freak out. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's case in point. Like that's ultimately what it comes down to. If you don't have the self-control and the discipline to understand that people are just people and to just be aware of your surroundings and not freak the fuck out, you shouldn't get
You get too many power trip fucking cops.
Correct.
And the big thing too is
they're picked on in middle school.
It's like, like bullied in school, whatever. But it's like we said too, like what's unfortunate, I guess it's not unfortunate, it's fact, is that being a police officer, I mean, it's like being an air pilot or being a doctor. You can't have one or two bad doctors and one or two bad air pilots because people die.
People literally die from that.
Yeah, like so all of them have to be fucking good. You know what I mean? Like,
liability insurance.
Oh, my bad. He must have been a bad one. You know, like you don't get on a plane and they go, "Hey, we're flying to Florida. I hope we got a good one. I hope we got a good pilot."
You get a fucking bad waiter at Applebee's. You just don't leave a good tip. But you know.
But yeah, I agree 100%.
Thurman, go ahead. What do you think is the problem, and how do you fix it? Other than let's not quite get into how do you fix racism, but how do you just in policing in general right now? How do you fix policing, in your opinion? Excuse me.
Record everything.
Dunk, yeah.
Now,
record
caveat to that:
if
you record everything, show everything.
Absolutely.
And even more so, you can't. And this is gonna sound sad to say, you can't fix it. You can't.
What makes you think it can be fixed, Armin?
I don't think it fixed overnight, but it gradually can get better.
No,
I'm saying it can definitely be fixed. It's not going to be fixed. It's not going to be fixed. That's my, and I'm going to have an all-encompassing view. Yeah, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I'll tell all of you guys why. Okay, so Matt, you know where I live in the sedity little fucking white suburb. Okay, and
W Bill represent.
Yeah. But even that, I'm still like, even in Shelbyville, it's not like fucking me and the wife and the kid. We're good. I'm hitting golf balls. But this is the hard part for me to say, but it's realistic. If I go outside and I walk down the street and I see a group of 3 white kids, I'm not crossing the street. If I see a group of 3 black kids, I'm crossing the street. Do you know why? I have that post. Systemic.
Well, don't you think at the same time, because you have preconceived notions of what's going to happen, shouldn't you? Don't you think in order for people to change, both sides are going to have to let their guard down a little bit?
That's why I say it's going to be gradual.
I almost think it's irresponsible to even ask if that's possible.
See, I grew up in Knightstown, and I'm not gonna lie. My grandfather, I mean, racist stuff was said in my family growing up as a kid. I mean, it was around me all the fucking time. But am I like that? No. I mean, I broke the cycle. Now as I go, I'm gonna pass it on, and it's gonna keep getting broke a little more and a little more and a little more. That's the
answer.
And then gradually, it's gonna get better.
And that's
but before, hold on. Before we get on the,
go ahead.
I was gonna say before we get on the race rant, because I asked him, how do we fix policing?
Okay.
Not necessarily. I don't want to cover racism yet. We're gonna get there.
No,
but,
and I think Thurman actually hit it on the head when he was saying that, or actually when you were talking about everybody needs to let their guard down. It's true, and that's exactly how I would bridge gaps with people. You know,
but it's hard to do when you've been conditioned. That's why I always say a lot of my posts on Facebook, I say systemic. Like it's preconceived notions.
But Thurman, what systems are in place right now that you think
war
are
on drugs? 100%. War on drugs was 100% made to deter black
Matt,
people.
let RJ go.
No, I agree with you. 1,000%. War on drugs is fucking horrible. It shouldn't have been started. I'm a libertarian in that aspect. I fucking hate the war on drugs. It was a waste of money. It raised incarceration rates. It's ridiculous. I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
Ronald Reagan honestly, was the biggest drug dealer in the 80s.
Dude, I was not a drug cop either. I couldn't fucking stand it. I didn't like it. It wasn't my thing. You know, I worked a lot more like violent crimes. Like I was part of our special victims response team, so I dealt with a lot of sexual battery, sexual assaults, stuff like that. Somebody's got to do it, and
domestic violence,
especially when it comes to women and kids, I do everything I can.
That's soft spot.
That's my shit.
I wouldn't be able to control myself.
Yeah.
Well, RJ, it is hard.
RJ is the ultimate family man.
And I've got nothing but daughters too, so it just kind of happened that way. I swim in estrogen, dude. It fucking sucks
every person on this podcast has a daughter. So
it's to the point where I think my period is starting to cycle with theirs. So
yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's great. I'm pretty sure I'm developing a menstrual cycle.
Well, I do want to say, Thurman, you don't think it can be fixed. My opinion is it won't be fixed. I think in response to everything that's going on right now, we're going to get the exact opposite of what we need. You know, what we need to do first and foremost is we need to not only end the war on drugs, we need to stop arresting people for nonviolent crimes. Maybe there'd be fines and shit, because I was going to make a point earlier. I didn't get to it, but my point is I think every problem in this country, not just the country, but in the world, revolves around the breakdown of the family. I think the breakdown of the family is the number one problem in this country. And let me tell you why.
Hitting exactly my other point. I'm sorry, go ahead. But that was my other part of my solution.
No, you're fine. And let me tell you how that negatively affects the black community. When the war on drugs was implemented, it was implemented to deter black people. And let me tell you how. Because you take the black father out of the family for some bullshit drug, possession of marijuana, whatever it may be. Father's out of the family. Guess what happens when the father's out of the family? If you grow up in a fatherless home, Duncan, myself, Thurman, I don't know if your father was around. RJ,
I don't even want to talk about him.
RJ, are you close to your father?
I grew up with my dad, and my dad was a cop. So yeah.
If you grow in this, not just in this country, everywhere, if you grow up without a father, you are more likely to commit violent crimes. You're more likely to commit suicide. You're more likely to
drugs,
depression, drugs, everything. Because what pisses me off about society is we downplay the role of the father so much. And I can't tell you, as a guy, my dad's a great guy, but he wasn't the best father. And, there's so many lessons that I wish I had learned from my dad. Like there's just endless. Like I can't tell you, I'm permanently fucked up for not having a dad in my life. Like, and I've been able to overcome like issues.
Look at me.
Look at me now. Yeah. Okay. He's living in the meth capital more, of fucking, what county are you in? Henry County? Are you Henry County, Duncan?
Rush.
I always say that, don't I? You fucking.
Ooh, Rush County. Ooh.
Yeah. Rush County's.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
You think Shelbyville's racist?
we're on the corner of Rush and Henry.
And you only got.
It's like the more meth you do, the more racist you become as a city. I think is that.
Hey, Thurman, me and my wife went to. Not Connor Prairie, the other place with the big air balloon in Indy. Anyways, it was like they did a thing. It was like a reenactment of like the runaway slaves, and like you show up and like there's people that like actors. I mean, it was legit like drama, like intense as fuck, dude. And it like reenacts like a slave like escaping. And you get into this house and they have a map and there's like, a couple black ladies around a table with this map. And it was like, you need to go this way. And it was like towards Canada. And it was like, do not go here. And it was like a star on Rush County. And I looked at my wife and I said, yeah, that's where we live. Isn't that great? Yeah.
Fucking terrible. No, I mean, great and terrible at the same time.
Look, I went to work and told my black buddies at work, like told the black gentleman at work about it, and he just kind of looked at me. He's like, "You did what?" I said they did it out here. It was like an educational thing. And he went, "Man, fucking white people, man."
Hold on. How the fuck did we get here from what we were just talking about? I'm so confused right now.
Are you shocked by it?
No, I'm not shocked.
Man.
Every week, that's what we do. But to carry on for right, do you guys understand that traffic laws only exist because it was a reason for cops to pull you over and to give them probable cause to search your car for drugs?
My glove compartment's locked, so it's a trunk in the back. I know my rights. You're gonna get more for that.
Yeah, but Matt, if you search deeper to those laws,
deeper,
it was to just profile people that were as chocolate as me.
Exactly. No, 100%.
You know what?
They thought. Do you understand that people thought? And we've talked about this on the shows. People thought. Thurman, I'm sure you know this. That the whole reason marijuana is illegal in this country is because
I know
white politicians thought it was making white women have sex with black guys. Like, how ridiculous is that?
Honestly,
Reefer Madness, the movie.
No, if they actually did believe that, that would be one thing. They didn't even believe that. They promulgated that because they knew hemp was a good replacement for paper and a lot of other products. And it was going to put a shitload of people out of business. So in order to keep hemp from becoming mainstream and providing so many fucking products at a cheaper rate, they
way cheaper than cotton was the big one.
It's not even that they believed that weed made white women sleep with black men. They literally promulgated that just to put fear in people into banning.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's absolutely. If you just take 5 minutes of reading and like that is 99% of people in this country are completely incapable of reading an article. They just fucking share it for the headline. But it's unbelievable if you just pull back the layer of bullshit. And I was talking to my mom about this today because my mom's starting to come around a little bit on like, okay, I'm like, listen, Mom, you grew up in a fucking propaganda machine. Like you know, from the 60, should be 62 this year. But from the day you were born in this country, you know, from media, from the shit we watch on TV, you are fed a propaganda machine. Not only about, and granted, I love this country, but I'm not afraid to recognize its problems. Okay, so don't take this as I hate America, I want to get the fuck out. No. But America is not the greatest country in the world. And let me tell you why. We have the highest incarceration rate.
Who is if it's not us?
The greatest country, Singapore, by far. If I could live anywhere, it'd be Singapore. The only thing I don't like about Singapore is they have really strict drug laws. Take away the drug laws, best place.
I heard Denmark loves white Americans, so I'm probably going there.
The most promiscuous country in the world, actually, that might be the best country in the world, is New Zealand. The most promiscuous country in the world.
They have a lot of adventures in New Zealand, too, and kangaroos.
Yeah, like I would love to give a naked bitch a ride on my kangaroo and I bang her out in like, you know, some kind of New Zealand mountain or something.
My mom just said my son has long hair and he gets profiled too. Which that's true.
You do with your mullet.
I get pulled over with this mullet. They instantly start looking for meth, dude.
Thurman, if you seen him out at a bar and you seen him with his mullet, would you think he was racist by his mullet alone? Just like you probably did with my bald head?
No, and I didn't think you were racist by your bald head. I thought you were ugly.
He thought you were racist.
Crazy, I get all this poontang.
No.
Hey, you see me with this mullet and a Chase Elliott hat, just rapping.
I think he's racist.
At the end of the bar, you're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Now, the first thing I do, trust me. First thing I do is I survey my surroundings, being a black man living in a majority white neighborhood. And I go to the bar and I sit down, I look around, and I'm like, if I don't see a Confederate flag, I'm good. If I see a MAGA hat, I'm like, I'm not talking to him. But I mean, I still do end up talking to those people. And now, and Matt, you're bald.
I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't imagine. I'm sorry that you're in a country that you have to feel like that, man. I can't even begin to say or anything like that.
But like he was saying, when he finally opened up and talked to people, guess what? My brother's a Trump supporter, and he does not give a fuck about politics. Let me tell you, a lot of people that love Trump love the fact that he just fucking spits off of because
But he's fucking stupid, man.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Oh, nobody's denying that.
Even my brother will admit that he's fucking stupid. But you know, like,
I voted for him, and I'm still like, dude, shut the fuck up.
right.
Jesus Christ.
It's when it comes to like, all I know about Trump is that my 401k went skyrocket until fucking coronavirus.
Yeah,
And if you're and look and no pot, like I don't give a fuck if you're a Republican. I don't give a fuck. But if you're making me money, I mean, let's do it.
My whole week has been revolved around virtue signaling. I've had people tell me how selfish I am because I refuse to wear a mask. So guess what?
It's just because they want you to cover that mug, dude.
No, I ain't wearing no fucking mask, and I'm not even gonna get into it. But I'm not wearing a fucking mask. You know why? Because I know my risk, and if I got it, I'm likely asymptomatic. And they've already said if you're asymptomatic, it's very rare to pass the disease along. So worry about your fucking selves. And if you're gonna wear a mask, why do you care if I wear one or not? You're protected, supposedly, right?
I hate being forced to wear one at work.
You know what?
Fuck off. Fuck you guys that say that. So
it's kind of
are you wearing a mask? I call it a cuck mask because I feel like every dude that I've seen wear one probably likes to be cucked. I mean, he just looks like a guy that somebody like Thurman would come in and fuck their girlfriend.
See, at work I do the bandana, the red bandana, because we're forced to wear them, and I just walk around yelling "Blood Gang" all day. But I'll tell you what, when you're online sweating your ass off and you have a fucking mask on, it's terrible, dude.
No, I've worn one once. I went to the doctor, by the way, which we haven't really covered. I
got a story for you too.
I'm superhuman this week. Like it's my first. I got prescribed Adderall to help with my ADHD, and I have
in 2 days.
I slept 3 hours last night, and I could fucking run a marathon right now. There's no question at it is superhuman shit, like in things that I never thought I would do. I'm sitting there fucking just like in my kitchen putting shit away, like just like looking for shit to do. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
and like
you're actually just being a
year from now, this show's gonna be Matt's out of rehab. Yay!
Let's go.
His Adderall turned into a cocaine addiction.
A cocaine addiction. Nice and math. No, I think you're safe there. Cocaine's too expensive.
Oh, it is. I'd love this.
Hey, listen, if you get rights for the show, I mean, you can pay for it.
This week has been absolutely electric for me. I can't, but honestly, like the real reason I got this, other than the fact that I can't stay focused for longer than 5 minutes, is that I'm a snippy asshole. As you know, as a person who said the littlest shit to me and I've wanted to fucking stick my hand through a computer and choke you, like that's been the biggest thing for me that I've noticed is the fact that I don't give a fuck about anything. That whole thing that we did with Duncan before the show, I had to show Duncan how to run sound through his headphones. If he asked me to do that on a weekly basis before the show, I would have been like, fuck you. I'll come over this week. We'll do it. I would not have been able to do that a week ago for sure. Did not have the patience. And I'm real snippy. Like if I'm in the middle of something, you interrupt me, I'm ready to fucking act your head off. Like it's just, and it's impulsiveness. It's not that I'm angry. It's just I'm impulsive. Like it sucks, but it's been the biggest help for me because I feel wonderful right now. So cheers.
Do you know, and this will be probably the last thing I say until we change topic. But my wife looks at me and she says, "Why are you so angry?" And I said, "I'm not angry. I'm just fucking hurt. I don't understand how people don't get it. Like, how the fuck do you not get it? Like, it's real fucking simple. Like, how do you not get it?"
I mean, some people don't experience it. Two, ignorance is bliss in this country. Like people are just fucking stupid and refuse to. And here's the thing is I used to go back and forth with you on a lot of Black Lives Matter things. Cause I said this to you on the phone this week. I said, honestly, on a person to person, neighbor to neighbor basis, racism to me is less of an issue than it's ever been. But the fact that we still have systematic issues with things like the war on drugs, etc. That's what keeps it alive, and the fact that
fucking and this dumbass conversation about black on black crime.
Which you know what you were saying is the fact that that it's proximity. I get it. It's black people don't kill black people because they hate black people.
Yeah,
Black people
they
kill
go 'cause
black
they're
people
next to
because
each
they're in
other.
a neighborhood of all black people. I mean, that's what it is. And I said this on the show last week too. Like I had an argument with a guy and they're like, you know, why are drug usage rates higher in black communities? I'm like, that's not necessarily the truth, because we both know that they're doing just as much cocaine in Geist as they are at 42nd and Post. I mean, let's be honest. But the
might
cops
be doing more. And it might
exactly.
Be pure.
But the cops
It
are
might be pure,
patrolling
guys.
42nd and Post.
Guys might be getting the 80%.
Yeah, and
they got that good weed.
not only the cops not in Geist, but the people that live in Geist are friends of the people that write the laws. Yeah, of course, there's use common sense here. I mean, sometimes numbers don't always tell the story. We can go back to football here in a little bit if you want, but but yeah, no, I completely understand where you're at from there. And why do people don't get it? Good question. Some people are racist. You know, some people will judge you because of the color of your skin. That's unfortunate. It's just
No. Hold on.
Yep.
Everyone, and even if it's
we're all judgmental. Honestly, and we're all
gonna judge you.
We're all a little racist, to be honest with you. We all have stereotypes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say racist. I would say we're all judgmental. I agree with you
right.
there.
People fear what they don't understand.
We're going to, but and again, it goes back to what's my favorite phrase? Learned behavior. It's
product of your environment, kind of thing.
Yep, and even more so, Dunk, is more learned behavior. So you're systematically thought that. I mean, it's like this is my funniest thing. I was watching because my daughter loves old rock music. And I love old rock music. I mean, I grew up in Boston, and Matt, you know me, I love.
Yeah, you love punk. I love that you love punk music. So
yeah,
big Marky Mark fan.
Yeah, he grew up in Boston, but but no, it's like I see these memes on Facebook where they show, if you're not offended by this, or if you're offended by this, why aren't you offended by this? And it shows a picture of a Confederate something, and then a black dude with his pants sagging.
Why can't we be?
But if you go back to David A. Roth or fucking Tommy Lee, Tommy Lee never wore a shirt, and his pants were never at his waist. But because it fits a narrative, and then it conditions you to think a certain way,
and you got to.
Well, what these old racists hate is that the black culture is the most imitated culture in the world, and
black
that their kids love it. They hate
by the way,
their kids love it.
Black people invented rock music.
Miles Turner, they put a shirt out that said "Love me like you love our culture."
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And that was really good.
I think I sent you that picture, didn't I? I sent you that picture. Yeah,
him and that guy.
Yeah. We won't get into that today, but yeah, absolutely.
I might sound terrible when I say this. Black people probably invented culture, period.
Oh, dude, you don't even like music. Even when it comes down to music, I mean, Elvis wouldn't be Elvis if he didn't steal black people's songs. You know what I mean? Yeah, since the beginning of time. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people just, you understand too, when you say the whole black, not just black and white, as far as races go, but
and
just
I hate to make it about black and white, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But I'm saying it just in thought in general, everybody thinks you have to be this way or that way. But the truth is everything is gray. Everything's in here,
Yeah.
And I get tired of well, if you don't support this, then you can't support that. Or no, everything is different. Everything needs to be looked at individually. And I feel that way too about cops killing, people. I think every situation is different. That's why I've went back and forth with you on a few things, like the guy downtown Indy. What was his name? Dreesen, that just recently got shot by a cop. Yeah. I said the reason that didn't blow up like it was supposed to, because A, a black cop shot him, and 2, they unveiled evidence that he shot at the cops first. So like, and everybody was standing up for this dude. I'm like, hold on, you know, you need to find out the whole story before you just come out and say, oh, cop killer, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know,
That's the
like,
biggest
withhold
problem.
judgment before you know what the fuck's going on.
Exactly.
Like,
That's the biggest problem. Everybody wants, they want to jump on a story, and they want to jump on an angle, and they don't want to wait for facts. If the facts come out and it's shitty, then we can all stand by that.
And I'll say this about cops, and I will say this too about African Americans: is they're both extremely tribal. I feel like you guys will stand up for each other regardless of the fact, and understandably so. Understandably so. But
in the hood, like, listen to this. In the hood, they will not snitch on nobody. Like,
no,
correct.
That's
they
what we were talking about police. Police can never find
a
suspect because they will not tell on anybody.
When you
come into Carthage, it's fucking singing like a bird city.
Right. When you were talking about the code of silence,
I was over there.
You were talking about the code of silence with cops. The code of silence is the exact same thing in the black community or in the hood. They're both wrong, and they both need to stop. Cops need to dime out bad cops, but if communities want to get better and communities want to improve, then we
in the war on drugs.
Well, that too. But
I'm telling you, people don't understand.
A vast majority of cops are there to genuinely help, and
it's
very
100%.
hard to do their job when everybody wants to stay silent. It's on both sides.
Yeah,
it's
Matt,
changes that both sides need to make.
Go ahead.
If I can jump in for just a second, I'm going to ask RJ a question.
What's up, man?
RJ, since you served, how do you fix it?
I think the first thing that needs to happen is I think communities need to start fixing themselves. I think there needs to be a better focus.
Yeah, he did answer that question earlier, didn't he?
I did part one, and then I got cut off.
Yeah.
Matt went on a rant.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No, I think there needs to be more of an emphasis on the old ways of community policing. Okay, I think a vast majority of the responsibilities that cops have picked up need to go away. I do think that the war on drugs needs to end, but also I think there is a responsibility on the community as well. I think the community needs to start calling out the bad shit that happens, and the code of silence, just like the cops need to. I think there needs to be more of an emphasis on education. I think there needs to be more of an emphasis on, containing what we call the nuclear family, a mother and a father and a home. I think there needs to be better opportunity for entrepreneurship and business ownership in the Black community. And I think
that's huge.
Education and entrepreneurship, probably the two biggest things. And honestly, I mean, I'm a Christian, I'm religious. Whatever religion you are, I think there needs to be more of an emphasis on whatever religion you are as well. We've gotten away from our sense of community, and even like the entire nation has gotten away from our emphasis on community development. Most people don't even know who their fucking neighbors are.
Yeah.
That's why as soon as I moved into this house, the first thing I did was go meet my next door neighbor. I brought him a beer, and now he and I are friends. And we help each other out. That we've gotten so far away from that because we're all on these all the time, and we think that this is friends and this is how we connect. The way you connect is by knocking on somebody's fucking door.
Now, most of you on my social media, I want to smack the fuck out of. I'm just going to be completely honest with you.
Matt, do you have a bunch of shit going right now?
What
comments and shit?
Say that again.
Do you have a bunch of shit going right now? Comments?
Like, do I have comments about what to say? Oh, absolutely. Like, to trail on what he was saying, I think 100% I agree with it. But what I always harp on the war on drugs for, because I think that's the biggest thing, because that puts the father back in the family. You're no longer arresting people for drugs, so that puts the father back in the family. If you stop arresting people for nonviolent crimes, that takes less cops off the street. So when less cops are off the street, there's less situations for them to have to be, rough with the neighborhood or even militarized in points. So you're gaining trust back. I think cops need more training. There's no reason that if I want to be a hairstylist, it requires more training than me being a cop. That's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, my caveat to that is it really shouldn't take that much training to become a hairstylist either. So
yeah, no, you're right.
I think I was debating with somebody on one of your Facebook things about that. Because they were saying, police get a total of like a week's worth of training, which is bullshit. But they're like, yeah, they get this much and hairstylists more. Okay, well, first of all, a hairstylist probably doesn't need that many fucking hours of training. So that goes
No,
back to the
that's
fact
all
that
government
education is completely
licensing
inflated.
bullshit. Yeah, I get it.
Education is completely fucking inflated. We need to get back to actually like educating people on actual like practical fucking things.
Well, it's less about policing, but more about like psychology.
Right.
Yep. About how do you handle certain situations? How do you handle certain people? No, 100%. That's
and unfortunately, a lot of times you're not going to get. That's very hard to train. It is. I mean, it's attempted. It's talked about. It's discussed. But unless you're actually in the position and you're interacting with people and you are wearing that uniform and you are seeing how people react to you wearing that uniform, it's very hard to train that and mimic that.
No, well, it's RJ. It's scary. It's scary for people that look like me. Like I'm just going to be completely honest. Like
I hear you,
and I'm sure it's scary for people that look like you when you see people that look at me when you're in business and you're like, well, holy fuck, what am I going to have to deal with? And that's the problem.
Okay, well, let me ask you. Sorry, Eric. Let me ask you, Thurman. So you and I have been talking this whole time, right? And
yes,
we've been good with each other. I think we've gotten along pretty well. If I was wearing a badge right now and you hadn't met me before right now, but I was wearing my uniform, do you think you would have treated me differently than you did when I signed on to this podcast?
No, not me, because not me, but I can tell you. I would have. I can tell you. no.
Hide the weed.
RJ, I can tell you right now.
I don't give a fuck about weed.
Yeah.
No, RJ, look at me, dead serious. I can tell you that if you pulled me over, I'd be scared. Not even if I was doing nothing wrong, I would be scared. Not scared that I would die, which
I mean, everybody's ass puckers a little bit when they get pulled over.
No, but, people's ass get puckered like they're gonna have to fucking call grandma and say, I need $1,500 for some money. No, they don't get scared that they're gonna go to fucking jail or get beat or get fucking no.
I mean, I can tell you as a white man that my interactions with the police have been overwhelmingly negative, and it's not because I am a person of color. It is because I know my rights, and they hate that.
Exactly. That's a big thing.
They hate that
and dude, you know what? They especially hate when a black gentleman knows the laws.
Oh,
and knows his rights. They hate that even more.
Yep.
And I, dude, you don't think that the police thing is not racism still alive? Like these kids are getting raised. Kids are getting raised. You know, like with racism in the family. Like racism's still there. And they're becoming cops. Like, I mean, I think that's the fucking root.
To a degree, racism is always going to be a thing. I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree that it's the same that it was 250 years ago. You know, I don't. You know, people talk about the 1619 Project. The 1619 Project is a completely fucking fabricated fucking history of America. But I mean, either way, from our inception in 1776 to now. There is no way you can say that we are just as bad as we were back then.
Exactly. And that's what I mean when I say that it's going to get better gradually as time goes past.
And that's why
my kids will be a little bit better. My great grandkids will be a little bit, better. And it's
as far as neighbor to neighbor racism, you're right. But as far as systemic racism, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm just telling you.
I mean, you got to think that those great grandkids are going to be the ones running the country too. Like there's going to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we still have mostly baby boomers running the country, and they're baby boomers ruined the country. By the way, completely ruined. They sucked this country dry and left it to fucking rot for us. I'm 100%.
Can I please quick time out?
Yeah, say what you're going to say, because I'm trying to wrap this conversation up because we got a few other things to talk about before we hop off here. But yeah, go ahead.
Live breaking news. My daughter just texted me. The Patriots just signed Cam Newton.
Yep, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
Look, Cam Newton MVP next year. Watch.
Oh my goodness, I'm fucking stoked.
I just want to see Matt's face when I said that.
No, I don't care. No, well, you're fucking stupid. Cam Newton sucks. But
I'm logging on to DraftKings right now to see what his odds are.
He's better than fucking.
Yeah, no shit. He's better than what you have. The guy you have now is a grocery bagger at Kroger. Yeah. You could have.
Hey, Thurman, great pivot there.
Yeah, great pivot.
My daughter, My she just trumps everything.
She's looking. Is she a Patriots fan too?
She's in that house.
Very much so.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We got to talk. I'll sit her down.
She's in the
and
house,
talk.
man. Product of your environment. We already talked about this.
Yeah, well, here, product of your environment. Let's speak about that because my daughter is a Bears fan because
it's my
her stepdad is a Bears fan.
He still jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he just said there. We were talking over each other. I'm sorry.
My oldest daughter's biological dad is a Cardinals fan, and she's now a Cubs fan. So
good job. Go Cubs. Because they won the World Series.
I bought her a Cubs t-shirt and dropped her off at his house.
As much because he's
you're a good fucking dad.
My daughter's stepfather is a Bears fan.
Breaking news.
That makes all the stepsister porn really weird right now. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Anyways, my daughter's stepfather is a Bears fan, so she's a Colts and Bears fan. But I, as much as possible, send her home in Colts gear for sure, absolutely. Pacers gear too. You have to, you fucking have to. But I'm gonna say this, Thurman. This is gonna be my final thought on our conversation here. You can agree, disagree with me, but I'm gonna tell you, we had a conversation on the phone this week, and one of the big things you said to me is you said you've changed over the last couple of years, the way you view it. And I kind of thought about that for a minute. I'm like, what was the biggest change in me? And I think I know the answer here. No, I mean this is over the last couple of years. Hold on, let me say this, please. The biggest change in me over the last 2 or 3 years, I think, is because for years I was so hell-bent on people thinking like me, making decisions like me, and just feeling politically like me and supporting the things that I support and me expecting the system to change. And my viewpoint completely changed. I decided I'm gonna stop trying to tell everybody else how to be, and I'm going to start living what I believe. And I think in my mind, if you are relying on the government to give you your freedom, you've already lost the fucking battle because governments do not give freedom. They don't. They take it away. You look at the history of the world and every civilization ever, there's no such thing as a benevolent government. No government is going to sit there and hand you your freedom. If you expect that, you are fucking stupid. So what gives you more freedom in this world than anything, Thurman, in your opinion? A material thing. What gives you more freedom than anything?
I mean, material thing, I'd have to say cash.
Exactly. Money.
Yeah.
So the way that you can become a free person is become as successful as possible. In my opinion. So here's my whole thought. I think everybody needs to take a step back and focus on yourself. Be a better person yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. Don't worry about what the system's going to do, because I'm telling you, nothing the system do is going to be for us, for people like us. No. Black, white, it don't matter. We're all lower middle class people here. They're not fucking helping us.
I'm upper middle class, by the way.
I mean, well, I was on pace for upper middle class in this fucking virus.
And I'm just lower class. Don't get that wrong.
He's just a piece of shit. But
I'm just along for the fucking ride.
I'm just here.
But what I was saying,
you're still on my neighbor's internet.
You're not gonna get your freedom. You're not gonna get your freedom from the government. So what you need to do is focus on yourself, bettering yourself, and making yourself as free as possible as a human being. That means freedom of movement. The more successful you are, the more cash you have. I understand, as a black man, it is harder to achieve that, but it's achievable. It's not like I hate when people say that. Everybody wants to put these walls up and say, I can't do this, I can't do that because I'm that. First off, you got a fucking loser's mentality. Change your fucking mentality first and foremost, and to tell yourself that you can do whatever you can. That's your first fucking mistake, okay? And I understand it. Everybody's got a different story. The road to success, it has 1,000 different roadways. Duncan, you could put out a fucking shitty ass rap tune on SoundCloud. It could blow up, and tomorrow you could be on fucking, USA,
BG,
whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
I like how you preface that with you could put out a shitty track and it could, even in its inception, and he's famous.
It also goes back to RJ's point, too.
Yeah, because most SoundCloud rappers suck, by the way.
RJ's point, though, with with education, that should be one of the number one keys too.
It is.
Well, education, okay,
and entrepreneurship.
Because their education in the hood, it sucks. I mean, compared to what we got.
Guess what? Guess what? Who cares? Who cares? Play within the rules and make shit happen. Like, honestly, I feel like I have
narrow that down a little bit.
I'm saying, hold on, let me finish my statement. Because if you're a winner, if you have a winner's mentality, you will win regardless of what hand you're played. You got to have a winner's mentality.
You were literally just saying how we should not trust the government to take care of shit, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Who's in charge? Who's in charge of schools?
The guy.
Exactly. Well, I know you have to change that, but I'm saying regardless, I went to a public education. I had a public education.
Regardless with that, Matt, you can't.
No, I just did. I had a public education. I'm still going to be successful. I was taught to be a cog in the wheel by our public education. I am not going to be a cog in the wheel. I'm going to be the whole goddamn bicycle. Okay. Like, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. I should be addicted to drugs right now. I should be in prison for beating my wife right now. We all overcome things, whether you're white, black, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. I will admit it.
Though. It does.
No, it doesn't, because you can still overcome. You can still overcome. It's harder for you. It is harder for you. I'm not saying that. It is 100% harder for you, but it can still be done. It can still be done. You know how many black business owners I know? Tons. And they all look better than I fucking do.
Don't get me wrong. I've done it, but it's not easy. It's not just.
It don't matter. I'm saying
it's not just put your fucking
and as
right on the gas and go.
And can I say this too? I want you to. You're a free thinker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Repeat after me. If you're really a free thinker, you will repeat after me.
My wife.
Obama was a horrible president. Repeat after me. Obama was a horrible president. If you're a free thinker, you will admit that, because he didn't do shit for black people in 8 years. He did not do shit for black people.
It's not about black people.
Admit it.
It's about people.
Oh no, I agree 100%. But I'm saying like
all people. I'm not here to talk about people that look like me.
No,
especially this is so wonderful that this is on YouTube.
Right.
I'm here to talk about people.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's what it needs to be about.
I'm angry about the fact that my people, I think, get treated differently, but
I wish Chris White was on here. His big thing that he always said was, "It's not black or white; it's a people thing."
No, it's
not a black thing.
It's not black versus white. It's us versus tyranny. That's all it is. It's us versus those in power. We got to fucking disrupt the power perception. But if that's what your focus is, you've already lost, in my opinion, because it's not.
No, true.
I think you've already lost.
But until people like us get mad and want to help and want to help them, it's never going to change. And that's what they hate that's going on right now. Like, until like everybody stands up, then it's never going to change.
Guess what? In response to this, I'm telling you right now, in response to this, things will get worse. They're going to sell shit as, oh, we're helping out the black communities. But in truth, like the fucking crime bill in 94, the war on drugs, everything that's been, oh, we're going to get this shit out of the communities, blah, blah, blah. Here, fucking sunshine and rainbows. And guess what? Everybody goes and votes Democrat because they're helping the poor people, right? They're helping the fucking poor people. No, yeah. Back to your thing, RJ. Starts with education. First off, not just public schooling.
Yes. A real fucking education.
But fucking be responsible. I've learned so much more out of school than I did ever in fucking school. Amen. I don't care. No, nobody. Yeah. Just open a fucking book.
Why do you think China runs the fucking world? Their education system.
Well,
that was a mic drop. You should just dropped your headphones. You should have just thrown the mic all the way across the room. You should. That was it.
Well, because here's the thing, man. Like, okay,
China owns the world. China owns the world. I'm gonna just tell you, because people here care more about a quick profit than they do a long-term solution. Being our politicians, because I mean, yes, the country is
back to money.
massively in debt to other countries, and and the reason for that is, just like the Federal Reserve, 1913 was the worst year in American history because the Federal Reserve was instituted. So was the federal income tax. So guess what? It all comes down to decreasing government. But my whole point, the whole thing that I want to wrap up with is, if you're expecting the government to give you your freedom, you've already lost. You've already lost. Even like if you've watched the 13 documentary on Netflix, even though slaves were freed after the 13th Amendment, it completely set up the whole how the prison system's set up today to fucking harm black people. So you guys,
I don't even want to get in that.
no, I'm just telling you. I understand, dude. You know I understand how the system works, and I'm telling you right now, it pretended to give you guys your freedom, but it did not give you your freedom. It just found another way to enslave you. Right there.
And you know what kept enslaving people after that? Social programs.
Everything. Because honestly, it's horrible in your communities because
today, Junior.
Well, because I'm trying to gather my thoughts here, okay? And the fact you're encouraged to stay on welfare. The more kids you have, the more money you get. It's a completely broken system, and it's not going to
centralize housing.
I agree, man. I agree.
You don't need to graduate high school to get SSI or SNAP. You don't need to graduate high school to get Section 8 housing. You don't need to graduate high school to have a bunch of kids to get a check from the government. These are all things that break down exactly what I'm talking about. It's a lack of education. It's a lack of entrepreneurship and goals. It's a lack of business ownership, and it's a lack of family.
But regardless,
all that is created or split up by the government.
No, exactly. But I'm saying,
RJ, I'm thumbs up in you.
You can't
thumbs up in you.
You can't ask the government when we say we want better education. What are they going to say? Oh, let's throw more money at it. Let's put more gas on the fire. No,
we need to get rid of the Department of Education altogether and allow the states to run their own shit.
Yes.
RJ, say it again.
Let's go.
Completely disband the Department of Education as a federal whole because it's a fucking ridiculous fucking notion that the federal government can run every state's education system and come up with this.
Not even that. Why can't
I hope Trump's watching this podcast.
Yeah, Trump's gonna do shit. You don't have no power. He's a puppet.
As soon as we stop, I'm gonna send it to him.
No, but
I mean, literally, who would have thought that a white guy from Carthage, a white guy from Morristown, an ex-cop from Florida, and a black gentleman that lives in Shelbyville would just solve all the problems.
Since you're gonna go ahead and profile Duncan, you might as well make it full circle there, buddy. But agree or disagree with what I say. My personal opinion is, I agree with everything RJ says about what needs to improve, but I think it still comes back to the individual. It's on you to be a better person and to learn and to fucking understand people, understand different cultures, understand different backgrounds, and also understand that it's up to us to change because I've always said you have to be selfish in this life before you can be selfless. You have to fix yourself before you can fix other people.
That's a good one.
I like that, man. It starts with the man in the mirror. Michael taught me that.
And by the way, that is a Matt Wharton quote. I've never read that anywhere.
I don't believe that for a second.
I swear to God.
Let's get into some stories, man. Letmake people laugh.
Yeah, we got to make it.
I gotta get off here.
That's fine. You can drop off, Thurman. We appreciate it, brother, for having on. We're gonna carry on. Make sure you can come on whenever you want, bro. We can bullshit.
Thank
whatever.
you for having me.
Hey, Thurman.
No problem.
RJ, Duncan, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, you
Absolutely,
too,
bro.
Hey, fuck Tom Brady, fuck the Patriots, fuck Cam Newton. I don't hate the Celtics as much, but fuck them too.
Yeah, you just hate winners.
Yeah.
How many titles does Reggie Miller have?
It don't matter. It don't matter. Because honestly, I don't expect titles being in a small market because the system is not set up for small market teams to win. I mean,
oh, there you go.
It's true.
True.
It's true, 100%.
Unless you got a big body of water on to your bordering of your state, you ain't gonna.
Yeah. Or if you're in a big media town. But Thurman, we appreciate you joining us, brother.
Which is water on the side of your state.
Take it sleazy. We're gonna get into some bullshit now.
I'm gonna take my Tom Brady jersey off.
Thank you so much. Burn it.
I'm sad that Thurman isn't gonna stick around for the bullshit.
That's all right. He can watch because we're gonna go in first and foremost. I'm just gonna start right now. Paul George, shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Why does he still care about the Pacers, man? Why are you still talking about the Pacers? Like you're on a team that's probably going to win the championship.
Who do you think's the player though?
The player. Oh, I mean, if you look back,
AD, Blake Griffin, and Paul Millsap are the three.
Yeah. Well, I heard Millsap first, then I heard AD too. I mean, I don't know how much truth it is. I will say one thing. I love Larry Bird. I love Larry Bird as a coach. I love Larry Bird as an exec. But the last couple of years of Larry Bird's tenure here were not the best on a personnel standpoint. I thought he brought in a lot of guys that didn't necessarily fit the culture.
Yeah.
The guys that were talented, but they just never fit in. Like, you can't build a team like Chris Ballard of the Colts always talks about. It starts with the culture.
Team.
You got to build a culture first. Then you can start bringing in guys because if there's a culture in place. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm so confident in what the Colts are going to do next year. I can't fucking wait.
Absolutely
Can't wait.
what he's doing. But also back to the Paul George thing, like if it was AD, there's no way the Pacers are going to just sell out like the Thunder did to get Paul George so they could Paul George him and go to LA.
No.
So AD would have came here for a year. Okay. Then he leaves and goes to the Lakers, and then we're fucked for fucking 5 or 6 years. Like,
I mean, and you're still playing
how it works.
And you're still playing LeBron. You're unfortunately, like, could we have beat him with AD and Paul George? Probably.
Nah.
You still got to face LeBron. And honestly, as much as I hate LeBron, he's an amazing player. Granted, he won't beat Kawhi this year, in my opinion. But
did you see the LeBron is calling for the Michael Jordan statue to be torn down because it offends him of when the greatest player ever won 6 finals and not lost in the finals.
Yeah, exactly. He should be offended.
He's offended. He wants that statue tore down.
But yeah, Paul George says he's gonna do a tell-all book, and he said that he basically just hates Larry. It all stems from Bird wanting him to play the 4, which is fucking get over yourself, dude. Like you never, even if you quote.
Bird wants me to play the 4. That's what the Warriors did, and they won. They did what? I mean,
had a dynasty. Are you a basketball fan at all, RJ?
Positionless basketball.
Exactly.
And Bird was trying. I mean, he was trying to see the future.
Right.
And Paul George won no parts of it.
But, RJ, are you a basketball fan? NBA fan?
Not. No, I don't really pay attention to basketball, baseball, and hockey. I'm probably about as white as you can be in that aspect.
We can start doing hockey updates with him because I know.
Hey, I'm all in. I love hockey. RJ, you were a wrestling fan growing up, right?
Yep.
You have to check out The Last Ride. They just come out
the Undertaker's documentary.
Yes, it was great. Like you always knew Undertaker was great, but you really don't get an all-encompassing view on why this guy is like so widely respected until you watch that. Because that's the thing about Undertaker. If you listen to everybody says he never broke character. Like even when he was out and about at bars, whatever, he was always the Undertaker. So like the fact for the first time ever, you're finally seeing Mark Calloway, the man. It was super cool. And to find out like what motivated him and why he was the way he was, super cool if you're an old school wrestling fan. But did you see where Terry Runnels, if you remember, Attitude Era, real hot, like dirty blonde hair, comes out and says that Brock Lesnar once exposed himself to her. It's this big news. And like she wants, like repercussions.
Oh God.
Whatever.
I can't wait till some random chick that I squeezed her ass at a bar is going to come out and try to fucking.
Hey, let us blow up and it'll happen.
I mean, if I ever run for politics, my first speech is going to be, I've said racist shit in the past. I have done sexist things. I have said mean things, but in all reality, I love everybody. But let's just get it out of the table so that you guys can't say any bullshit about me. But yeah.
Did you hear on the Undertaker doc when he was talking about Cypress Hill that they said he couldn't hang and he's like just buried him?
Fuck, here we go again.
Did he was McAfee show actually interviewed him this week and he was talking about that. That's pretty funny. Can
you imagine like in Stone Cold talks about it all the time on his podcast about there was a point when he had a little bit of a problem with pain pills and drinking. Like, I mean, we all know Ric Flair's story. Like, can you just imagine what these parties were like back in the day?
Oh, I loved it.
Electric. I think RJ just fell off. He'll be back, but whatever. You did bring up the Darius Leonard story earlier. How much validity do you think is to it? And B, what do you think about the response to it? Because I've got some comments on that.
See, you're going to have to explain it to me because I didn't dive that deep into it.
I did not dive too deep into it, but essentially it was at a Chick-fil-A, I believe. Maybe.
No. It was the burrito place.
Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box, I think.
The burritos, the tacos.
No point.
Go in and make your burritos.
Not Taco Bell, but
no,
not important. He was at a restaurant. And apparently he was profiled because he was black. I don't know exactly the whole story.
Yeah.
And a lot of very right-leaning people, mainly some WIBC people, which I have a lot of respect for the people over there, but they started really judging Darius Leonard on his character. And back to the Robert Mathis, the underdog. I don't think that's fair to judge a guy's character, like, and to think that he would tell a lie. Because what does he have to gain by telling the story? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Well,
I
the thing
think
was they racial profiled him, and then they realized he was a Colt, and then they backtracked and said, "Oh shit, we're in trouble." And then
yep,
it blew up. Qdoba is where he was at.
Qdoba. That was it. You just look it up.
They came to me.
Yeah, Qdoba, huge racist in Qdoba. By the way.
Can't wait for him see him this year. By the way,
What do you think about all the bullshit about Brogdon getting COVID? And it's so funny. He comes out like, 'cause everybody's freaking out, like, oh my god, they're gonna cancel.
They all are gonna get it. It's gonna be a thing. I just said earlier.
Guess what? They're healthy young men. Let them fucking get it and get it over with. Half of them won't even know they have it. They're just gonna.
Matt Boland just commented, Thurman and RJ were great tonight. He loved the show. Show's not over, but Matt Boland is also the one that was at Shelbyville, buddy from work. He is the one that was saying, send everybody to Brogdon's house. Let them all get corona.
Yes, let's go.
Right now.
I'm all for
let
it.
me get it. 2 weeks. Let's start the season, boys. Let's do this.
It's going to be a game changer because you're right. I did not really think about that element, but you're 100% right.
NFL teams are probably already doing it behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, they fucking should. Hey, Colts, everybody in the room, make out, have an dude all COVID. Because I'm done with this bullshit.
Hey, let's go to PTs, all of us together.
Hell, I'll get it and get it over with. Fuck it. By the way, R.I.P. Huey. Huey, pop, lock, and drop it. You heard he died, passed away.
He
like 35 years old. Fucking horrible. Did you hear why?
I didn't even realize he was from St. Louis.
No, I didn't. I mean, St. Louis had a crop of fucking rappers back in the day. Jesus Christ.
Well, after Nelly, they all just copied his.
Yeah, of course.
My phone said famous St. Louis rapper died. I said, shit, Nelly died. And then I popped it over and said, Lil Heat. I said, who?
No.
Yeah.
We need somebody in Indiana.
Condolences. Huh?
We need somebody in Indiana to blow up so we can have,
Me, dude. Me. I'm going to blow up.
Anyways.
I figured it out.
And one thing I've noticed I seen this week, and one of the big things I want to get into was about concerts coming back. And I've seen that up to 90% of independent concert venues could be closed, which pisses me off because those are the majority of shows I go to. I go see these underground bands and these fucking clubs that fit 300 people. And I mean, it's depressing and it's bullshit because at the end of the day, I think we're going to look back and think that we overreacted a little bit on this virus. I understand it is deadly to some people. I'm not denying that. I never have denied that. But for the majority of people, it's an overreaction and it's fucking bullshit and it's affecting people's lives. I understand people are dying, but you're affecting more lives. Like what's the cost of a life? A guy loses his business and shoots himself, versus a person who gets COVID and dies. Odds are, if the person got COVID and died, they probably have a feeble immune system. They were likely, I hate to say this, but they likely were probably not on the brink of death, but they had something that was deadly or something that was negatively affecting their body for their body to react like that, to COVID. Take vitamin D. And I've said this on the podcast, if you want to build your immune system, take vitamin D.
Is that what you tell all your hoes?
You want some D, bitch? Here we go.
Yeah,
you want some vitamin D? Call Matty Dubs. Let's go.
Here it is.
Yeah, buddy. That's my.
I'm up all hours now. Hit me up anytime.
But I've also heard that at big festivals, they're going to have quote unquote disinfectant mist stations. You got to walk through a fucking mist of disinfectant before you get in the concert, which I don't know how that fucking does anything.
Like at Klipsch? Is that like places like that?
They're just tossing around the idea at this point. It's not official, but like, how fucking stupid is this? Because if I have, if I've got the Rona and I'm still coughing, it doesn't matter if my body has been sprayed with. The world is in a fucking state of lunacy. I put on my Snapchat. Right. I went to Guitar Center earlier. I was forced to wear a mask, and they've got fucking arrows pointing everywhere. It's like, here's the maze. Like the world is in a state of absolute fucking lunacy right now.
Nobody wants to get sued, is what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have. I died because I came to your store and got corona. Like nobody. That's why people don't want. Like,
oh, it's coming though. Just wait.
The thing, like with shows, like especially these hard rock shows, you don't think these people are not. They're not, if you're at Ozfest and you're like a mosher fucking getting crazy, do you think those people are practicing social distancing outside of that concert? Not gonna.
No, definitely not during that's why I love too that I seen an article too that says that we may never let crowd surfing and moshing happen again. I'm like, yeah, good luck. Okay. Well, because
that's our next fucking big thing.
Video. Yeah. Because Guess what?
Police break up mosh pit at Korn concert.
Yeah.
8 people die.
Yeah. Guess what? Because those of us that mosh don't give a fuck what you think. Okay. Because I mean, I can't tell you how many of those smaller venues I've been to, and there's no moshing posted everywhere on the wall. And you get a band like fucking Devil Driver in there, it is a fucking madhouse. And it's a blast,
Devil Driver?
Devil Driver. Well, I just say that because I went. There's like
that's a band name. That's a name.
Yeah, they're hardcore, but super funny story. I don't want to do a backstory here, but the lead singer of Cold Chamber, that's his new band. Well, new band. He's been in that band for several years now. But I went and seen them at a small concert venue called the Citadel here. So I'm worried about losing places like that. And the atmosphere is just next level. Like, you don't understand the energy. The first time I seen Tech Nine was in a small club of like 300 people, and that whole fucking place was electric. Those are my favorite shows to go to. I love the bigger festivals, but the small house shows of 200 crazy fucking passionate fans,
all that stuff,
it's next level. It's the way to go. And the fact that those may disappear because of an overreaction fucking frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But anything else that's on your mind this week before we wrap up, buddy? We're almost at 2 hours here.
Dude, my neighbor, man.
You got to tell
a
us
story for you.
Yep.
So the neighbor, my wife gets home and they got a new dog.
Oh God.
And this thing is just monstrous, dude. Like out in the yard, and he's fucking has it on a leash, like giving it a bath and stuff, And he's like, yeah, it's part wolf. They've telling me it was part wolf. They adopted it and saved it.
Yeah.
And next day, like a couple of days later, I'm mowing the yard, and I get done with the backyard, and I'm going to the front, and I just hear, the dude like howling, dude, next level.
You thought you were stunned.
Coming from their house, and I'm like, dude, that dog's fucking wild. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Well, fast forward another week or so, Megan comes home from work, and he has a dog outside, and she's like, I didn't notice, that red in the fur when I saw, out here giving it the bath or whatever. And he's like, no, this is a different dog. We got a new dog. And he's like, the old dog, we took it to the vet, and come to find out it's 100% wolf. I mean, he said it was 100% wolf. So like I talked to him a couple days later.
Yeah.
He said he was walking the thing around town and it slipped the collar. Said he chased it for like an hour, dude.
Oh,
couldn't catch it. Said finally like a guy with like a female German Shepherd helped him catch it.
Oh,
he
wow.
Said, like he like puts the collar on, and the
German
guy's
Shepherd got mounted.
Yeah, well, he's like, the guy's like, dude, it looks like it has a little wolf in it. He's like, oh yeah, maybe a little. And he was like, at that moment, I knew I didn't want to be the crazy wolf guy in Carthage, But like he took it in, and yeah, the vet was like, it's a wolf, man.
That is fucking incredible.
Could you imagine?
I can imagine the news story: wolf loose in Carthage.
That's what he said too. He was like, wolf
not on
the loose.
Meth.
He said it didn't want to eat dog food. It just wanted to eat meat and shit. Like it didn't even want to know his name.
Yeah,
like every time he cracked the door, it was like trying to jet the fuck out the door. But he said it didn't want to know his name, and he said his name was Dallas. So it obviously wasn't a threat to anybody.
Yeah. It was obvious. It was going to go 8-8 this year.
It's going to go 500 and not make the playoffs.
Well, speaking of meth in Carthage, no, but this week on a Florida Man, every week on Florida Man, I go straight to Google. I type in a Florida Man. Whatever pops up, and it is always electric. This week does not fail. A Florida man allegedly stole, crashed, and abandoned a $1 million yacht. This is my future. If the shit hits the fan, I'm stealing a yacht and I'm hitting the ocean, bub.
He stole, crashed it, and then dipped out.
Let me read the story here. There's likely a stern punishment in store for an alleged criminal. A Florida man reportedly stole, crashed, and then abandoned a yacht worth almost $1 million in March. By the way, I've been watching a lot of these yacht videos on YouTube. $1 million yacht is a bad fucking boat.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, it's $1 million.
Can you imagine you're a trust fund baby, your dad bought you a yacht, and some fucking dude high on meth crashes your boat?
Did you see where Shaq bought a yacht and he was like, what should I name it? And
yeah,
and they said free throw so you'll never sink it.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. So the nautical no-gooder, 28-year-old Donovan Russell Jester stole the boat from a dock in St. Petersburg, Florida. I was just there. Then left it after crashing with the channel marker pilings, and according to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, the boat then drifted into a nearby oyster bed where it was discovered by local deputies. They were able to identify Jester by a thumbprint left on the cabin door. You fucked up, bub. He was charged with grand theft vessel for the joyride and faced up to 30 years in prison. Holy shit. A stolen yacht was identified by authorities as a 46-foot Jeannot leader worth $900,000. So about $1 million yacht. This guy has to be high on meth. That's what I want to know. Why can't you guys tell me why he did it? Like, is he pissed off at this dude? Did he fucking like clean this guy's bathroom? The guy called him an asshole, so he decided to steal his boat. Is he high on meth?
Meth.
Meth.
There's your answer. There's your answer.
At the end of the story, it's always meth.
It's all. I mean, you're in Florida. I'm just hoping a crazy Florida guy don't get my wife this week.
I hope he does. I hope your wife comes on here and tells a fucking Florida story, and it's about her getting.
One thing is, she would, 100% never come on this show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that never would count.
Never gonna happen. Hey, by the way, Denny Hamlin just won the NASCAR race. I mean, I just had a little cash on him. It's nice.
Yeah, good weekend for you, buddy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Between the old UFC and this, let's go.
By the way, will we have a show if meth didn't exist? The answer is no, because I think half of our stories involve meth heads. So thank you guys so much for listening to Highly Inappropriate. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the page. Hit the bell. That way you're notified when we go live, because we're going to start going live a little bit more. We're going to be doing some more things once we get figured out what the fuck we're doing here.
Do a little thing.
We're finally set up. We're full goal now. The last thing we need to figure out, we figured out tonight. We have a fucking intro again. We can hear each other through our.
Well, the next thing is your goddamn internet, because I'm getting broke up.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's changing too. Here in a couple of weeks, they're supposed to come out here and fucking install it. Just waiting. I don't know why it takes a fucking month, but they must be in high demand.
It's gonna happen. I mean, you're in Morristown. It's gonna happen.
And I'm also going to figure out with this program how to bring up news articles, so we can actually like look at news articles while we're doing live, and you guys can read them with it. So that's coming.
Thank you, Adderall. You'll have it all figured out by next week,
bro. This we're taking off right now. I'm gonna be up till 3 a.m. brainstorming. Watch this shit. Yeah, subscribe and like. Subscribe, rate, and review. Of course, podcast on iTunes, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to. We're on there. Highly Inappropriate Podcast. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter /Highly Inappropriate Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Deuces, bitch.